Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And today we are going to do a hill test review of
the Maverick Tremor.
Oh, yes. Look at that thing. Look, you've got the bronze. You've got the bronze. You've got the bronze in the spoke. You've got it on the XLT. You've got it on the seats. You've got it on the tailgate. And that's why we really buy trucks, is to put things on the rear flanks. And, well, what do you think of it, Craig?
Oh, what do I think of it? I think it's awesome.
Okay, all right, glad we covered that. Now, we have done a full review on this road test.
Yep.
And we're also going to do, I think, a technical on this as well if we have time for it. And more importantly, it's an off-road package.
Yeah.
So we need to go up our hill with it.
We need to off-road it. But we've had a new development, Brian, in the off-road testing world of our little course here. And that is, we've had a lot of rain. We've been in a drought. The heavens have opened up for us, and we got mud as we enter the bypass, so it makes it a little more challenging, which is actually good because it really tests out the traction control systems in all these cars and the tires. So
tire in particular, because we've had two vehicles in this. That's where these ruts came from, really. We kind of rolled into this not knowing there was that soggy. It looked moist, but we didn't think it was that bad, and they just flat out couldn't make it up. So we had to back down. So I'm curious, it's a little bit drier now than it was last week when we filmed the other two. I think we should do, normally we do the main line. If it doesn't make that, we go to the bypass line, which is right here. They're kind of inverted, but the same inclines overall. I think instead of doing that, let's just start here and let's test trail control.
Well, yes, we'll do trail control at this, and then we'll see if we can actually do the other one. Yeah,
so this is really approach angle over here, but when it's wet, trail control is traction control, and this is very muddy and ruddy, and we're not gonna like angle over, we're gonna hit it dead on and see what it does.
Let's do it.
All right, you wanna show them kind of what your off-road goodies are with the Tremor, Craig?
Well, so off-road goodies are, which you're gonna see on when you drive it and take over on the big hill test, and that is the approach angle is massively improved on the Tremor over any other Maverick. That's probably the biggest news here, in conjunction with, we'll get something else in a minute. So, but you also get a better tire. This is a Wild Peak all-terrain, and it's actually pretty meaty. Honestly, it's the perfect tire for this application. It's what it is.
Yeah, it's like a no road noise capable dirt and mud tire.
Absolutely. You get a little bit of a lift as well, which also can combine with that bumper, helps with the approach angle.
Yeah, so the approach angle now is 30 degrees in the front, and the brake over, I'll put it on the screen, but being 1 inch taller all around
helps
plus
everything.
The front bumper makes a huge difference.
Helps everything. And then in the back, which we'll do a technical review later, hopefully y'all can check that out. But the biggest news back here is we get the same rear end that we get in the Bronco Sport Badlands, also from the Focus RS, which means you actually get, some people can argue about whether or not it's a true locker or not. You get locking functionality where both wheels spin at the same time, and that's what we want, and that's what's going to really help us.
Yeah, when you get a wheel in the air, which we've done, it works.
All right, Brian, we got some drive modes. Let me get the seatbelt on because Ford's going to keep beeping at us. So, anyways, there we go. That's good.
Oh, wait, what is that? What's over there?
Oh, that's a key. That's a fob holder.
Okay.
Fob holder, some people call a key.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
And also, these seats like these a lot too.
Well, that way you know you're off-road capable.
Right.
So we've got a nice Tremor button here with, because it says Tremor right there. Even though we don't have race or eco mode, we do have star mode, whatever snowflake mode that is. But you hit that button and you get, let me show you here, you get normal mode, you get, normal, tow haul, slippery, and here's the ones where we don't get in the others, mud and ruts and sand. That does not come in other Mavericks, and so that's where we're gonna try. We're gonna do mud and ruts for this application. But Brian, we also get the most important here, we get four-wheel drive lock and the best rear locker. We're going to do that for this, plus the trail control to get us up there.
Okay, so a little, just to explain to everyone, the four-wheel drive lock mode locks it. This is not like a traditional pickup truck where it defaults to a 50-50 split front to rear. This is a all-wheel drive transfer case, so this will lock it into a 50-50 split, which means you can't go on pavement, or you shouldn't go on pavement. It has some fail-safes, but it might buckle a little bit when you're going over that. Really want to be on off-road surfaces. And also the rear diff lock locks it side to side in the rear. So one tire in the air won't just spin willy-nilly. So that's pretty cool. So really, also a few more things to learn. Tow haul mode is effectively sport mode.
It's close
for
to
all
we got
intents and purposes.
Yes.
I do kind of miss that because sport mode on the Lariat we had last year was freaking awesome. It was really good programming. When you go to sand or mud mode, you get augmented V8 noises.
It does sound more like a V8.
Yeah, which is interesting. Normal mode doesn't do that. So, show them trail control.
Well, one more thing I want to show too is if you're in normal mode, you can hit those buttons and do the four-wheel drive lock and the rear locker. But when this is what Ford does in a lot of applications, we're going to go ahead and put it in mud and ruts, and now automatically you'll see it puts it in what it thinks you need. It locks the four-wheel drive, and you can see there it does the rear locker. So that's already engaged for you. I don't have to do anything.
It's like a preset configuration. And then on trail control, show them how that works.
Trail control, hit the trail control button, and it says use the set button, the cruise control set buttons, to go 1 mile per hour increments up or down. It's that simple.
So it's kind of like Toyota's MTS, but you actually have a number associated with the speed.
And it works uphill and downhill, not just downhill, which, well, MTS does as well. But a lot of cars have just downhill ascent control.
Exactly.
This does both.
Kind of like that one. I'm going to line Craig up, and once he clears it, I'll get out of his way. So he's going to use trail control at 1 mile an hour. So we like to test these at the lowest speed possible to see if they hang up. Because if you use momentum, you can kind of bounce your way through a lot of stuff. We want to test the systems and see what they can do. All right, so he's turned to the right a little bit. The system is detecting some spin, some resistance on the tires. You see how much it's caked up right here. It's just pushing the earth, but it is working so far. There is mud hitting the frame rail now. This might be a hang up for us.
Well, it's really working.
It's doing it. It is moving forward inch by inch. The front's starting to lift. The rear is starting to sink. And just like that.
Front's gonna pull us out.
Ooh. There you go, just like that. He's gonna leave MTS on, not MTS, sorry. Trail control on, 1 mile an hour.
No cameras, so I can't see.
Okay, no upper cameras.
So spot me.
But this is a 23-degree climb, which sounds low, but it is tall in the real world. And just like that. Well, that was awesome.
Okay, and here's why that's impressive. We recently had 2 vehicles that are more traditional off-roaders, way more than this thing.
Yeah, full frame vehicles.
Full frame truck. We had a legendary GX with MTS.
Yep.
And now tires are a big factor.
There's 2 things. I've already brought this up in my mind before you go up the hill. It is drier today than it was then.
It is.
So it's had a few days to dry up.
True.
Not quite a week, about 5 days. And these tires actually have some siping in them.
And that makes a huge difference.
That's probably everything.
Yeah.
But this did get down to the frame rail, just like the GX
But
did.
I'll also say this though, the MTS and the GX, when we used that the other day, it was not near as aggressive. This actually got pretty aggressive. When it was starting to slip, it was actually, okay, you need more throttle. It gave me more throttle, and the locker actually did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, that thing spun 1-to-1. I was looking at the truck, I could see that, and also at certain points, it was hitting them. You could tell the center dip was locked because they were spinning at the same time when it was bumping it. So it was pretty cool. Did good. I did not think it was going to do it, honestly. No, I really didn't. I thought you were going to have to bump it up a few miles an hour to make it bounce through.
We did it as slow as possible because we thought it would actually get hung up, and it didn't. I was impressed.
It did it, and I directed you to the most aggressive rut, by the way.
I didn't touch either pedal once.
Fantastic. All right, let's check approach angle. Time for the main line.
All right, Brian, it's time to do the hill test, the hard line,
right,
with a big step, rock. Let's show
them a 21-degree incline, a 46-degree step, and that's where we'll hang up on approach and departure angle. Approach and breakover big time. And breakover is my main concern here. Approach, I think, will actually be, well, we might make it. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a much bigger test of approach and breakover. Much less about traction.
Absolutely.
But with that though, we do still have some goodies. What goodies are you going to use here? I used mud and ruts on mine a minute ago with crawl control. Maybe do normal mode and just see what happens.
Let's just do normal. And I'm going to leave traction control off because I like to see what it does unhindered.
That's its hardest thing. It should struggle there the most on purpose. That's what we're doing here, and then we'll see.
So, fingers crossed, on paper, the approach angle should make it straight on.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, we'll do the hybrid line.
Yep.
If it does make it, I want to do the hybrid line again anyways to show that tire in the air with the rear diff locking.
I'll tell you what I'm most concerned about is breakover.
Me too. That's a valid concern.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Like I said, breakover is going to be the struggle as we get over that little hump, and we'll see what happens. I remember last Maverick we had was front wheel drive only, and we got about halfway up this hard hill, and we couldn't do it. I don't know. We didn't get that one on film because we actually couldn't do it. So, but we tested it off camera, and that's as close as we got. Let's see, so far so good. It's working its way up. Okay, we're getting close. All right, I want to see how close this is. You can see the approach is really helping. There's no way we could even gotten this close in any of the other Mavericks, but it's close, but I think we got enough to get over it. We're gonna have them come up a little more. Stop.
So my foot, okay. So my foot was to the floor there.
Okay, don't go back down. I don't want you to rip the front off.
Oh, are we on it a little bit?
We're on it a little bit. You're okay. I don't think you're going to, but be careful when you're going up that thing. Try to stay up once you get up a little bit. So we're going to change the modes now, or are we going to stay in normal, or?
I'm not going to use the modes because there's not really a rock crawl mode here. I'm going to lock it front to rear.
Okay.
And I'm going to lock the rear diff as well because I don't want us to slide back.
Okay.
If we can help it. I did notice right there that I was getting left front wheel spinning because we are in a 4-degree side slip. And the right rear was, the two of them were starting to spin a little bit.
Are you going to use trail control and let it do it?
No, I'm going to do it on my own.
Okay, all right. Don't go backwards. Okay, you can go backwards now if you want.
Okay.
Slow. You're good. Okay, you're good.
Can I bump it?
Huh?
Can I bump it at all?
Probably. Just don't come back down.
Okay.
Okay, don't bump it. Okay, so one of the things we got going on, Brian, is we've got good approach angle and a faux skid plate, but not a real skid plate.
Okay, okay. I'm on scuffing that a little bit. I just don't want to get through any radiator stuff or anything like that.
Yeah.
I do want to try a different approach. Well, I'm not ready for the hybrid line.
Okay. What are you going to try this time?
I'm going to try, I think I'm a little bit, I've got a side slope more than we usually do here. And then I'm going to try trail control.
I think that might help.
Okay, well, let's try it. I'm going to leave everything locked up, though.
Are you going to leave it at normal?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I can try much, which is too much. It doesn't matter at this point.
No.
I just don't think there's
I wonder if sand would be better, because that's loose. No, that's...
Okay, let's try sand. I like that. I'm going to back up a little bit and give it some approach room.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to try sand mode. He's going to back up a little bit so it's got some room to play with, and we'll do crawl control, see if it's smarter than us. As you can see here from the mud previously, it's hard to get up. We got about that far. Okay, it's trying. You can see it's locked. And it's just having trouble getting bite. And it's a hard approach.
Hold on. All right, I think it's time. I think it's fair to say we need a little momentum to bump this. We've got a bunch of mud in the tires right now.
Yeah,
it's not helping.
But here's the problem: the suspension, when you bump, that front comes down a little bit, and it's going to hit that plastic fake skid plate. So we can't really bump it.
Okay.
One of the problems we're having here is gearing.
Oh, definitely, because as soon as what happens is it gives throttle, the turbo spools, and then it spins too much. Stability control kicks back in.
Yeah. And
then, or it lugs, one of the two.
Yeah, we just don't have that low range that we really need to crawl over this.
Now,
Ron, I think it's time for a hybrid line, but
full heartbreaking, but I think we're gonna have to.
It's where we're at.
All right. Well, wah wah.
So the hybrid line is a little bit of a combo of this hard step right here and the bypass line. So what we do is we get a little bit of a tire up here, help it get up, but we do still have to get over the step. So there is that. Feels a little bit like a cheat, but it is what it is, and that's what we're gonna have to do. You can see there, all the wheels are spinning, the lock. You can see the rear locker is up in the air, and it is working though. People are gonna say that's not a rear locker, but it is.
Success!
We made it up the hill.
Yeah.
But not the hardest part of the hill. And the problem with that is I think our bigger...
I think it's gearing. I think you're right.
I think the biggest thing is gearing, or if we had a real skid plate that was metal in there, I banged it on, I knew it was metal, I wouldn't care if you bashed it a little bit.
For it. Yeah.
And we wouldn't worry about ripping it off.
Let's do a close-up of that. Let's look at that thing. So right here, where were we hitting? Because I heard it hit something. Oh, it's this.
So this right here is, you know, kept hitting, which is fine.
But this is your core support right here, which is the bottom of the radiator bracket.
That's the bottom of the radiator. We didn't want to rip that off. We felt like this needed a little more protection. If you bump it, it would have hit this kind of hard. And don't know that this would have held up real well. You got the approach,
yeah,
but no protection.
So this goes back to the brilliance that the Tremor F-150 was, because it did have a real skid plate, because the FX4s have them too. It's just kind of, you're at a different level on the full-size truck.
Sure. It
also had so much compression and suspension travel, you could just bump that thing and hop your way up it.
Yeah.
This is not the vehicle you can go rock hopping with. It's just, that's not what it's going to do.
It's not designed for that.
I don't want to sound down on this though, because let's talk about competitors real quick. This is in the same vein as like Subarus going off-road, right?
Yeah.
Not full frame, not low-range transfer case, soft rotor for sure.
Yeah. What's their off-road version now?
The Wilderness? Wilderness Edition. This would mop the floor of the Wilderness.
Yeah.
And because it has real transmission, it's not going to CVT slip.
Yep.
And I do think a Bronco Sport might do better because it's shorter, so the nose is going to pitch up a little more.
We're not going to be worried about that rubbing there, because it's probably going to get over that.
The long wheelbase is causing a problem here. Now on breakover, we didn't rub at all.
No, breakover was fine.
I was shocked by that. It's a good off-roader. I don't want to sound down on it because we had to do a hybrid line.
No.
Because guess what? The GX460 legendary vehicle needed a bypass line, or the hybrid line last week too.
Absolutely. And I think you brought up a good thing. So what would you get out of all those crossover, these faux off-roaders?
So
the Wilderness, the Subaru Wilderness editions,
the Cherokees,
the Cherokee Trailhawk, the Compass Trailhawk, the Renegade Trailhawk, the Bronco Sports Badland, and this. Which one would you get for yourself?
Man, if you're going to be like I live in the city but still have to go play in the woods, I'd probably still go with this because you can sleep in the bed if you need to.
Yeah.
You can still do all the like campsite stuff.
Yeah.
And you have more storage than you would in a Bronco Sport or the Cherokees. The Cherokee is really good too.
Cherokee Trailhawk's really good.
That's really good too. But there's something about, because that long wheelbase, you can get more stuff going on with it. I'd probably go with this.
Yeah, to me this is the best blend of functionalities, but still being able to have some capabilities. So this is the best blend.
And it's 10 grand less than the Ranger Tremor.
Yeah.
And it's about 25 grand less than the F-150 Tremor.
Yeah.
There's some value here. This thing is still cheaper than the Lariat two-wheel drive that you can get in its own flavor. The Tremor's a good package.
Yeah. So.
All right, with that covered. Thanks for watching the off-road test. That was a lot longer than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that was fun.